Hi and welcome to my first video. My name is Salitar. Not Solitaire, Salitar. Everybody always says tear. The I is silent. Anyway, I'm going to be reviewing apps that people draw on. I'm so bad at this. I've never done a video like this. Okay, today we're going to be trying 4 apps. One's called Sketchbook, one's called iArtBook, and the other is Sketches, and the last one is Medibang Paint. I hope I said that right. Or Medibang, whatever it is. It's just an art app, okay? I guess we'll just get into the vid because I'm so fucking awkward. Okay, so I always pronounce it wrong. Apparently people say IBIS, but I say IBS Paint. Yeah, IBS. This is the app I normally use to draw on, and I pretty much do everything in here. There's not a lot on my iPad because I got my iPad not long ago, which is why I'm making this app. So the first app I'm going to use is Sketchbook. Well, when I looked at it, I was like, this doesn't look too hard. It looks pretty easy, to be fair. As I started to mess about, I was like, okay, the brushes aren't that bad. I like this one. I didn't really like this airbrush that much because I normally use an airbrush Trapezoid 20%. I liked this brush a lot, actually. I'm just a sucker for these type of brushes. And it was actually really satisfying to use. I also like this one and then that one too. And this, I just started playing around with this a lot because I don't know how to blend properly, so I have no idea if this is a good blender. And then I got this thick brush and I liked this brush. I thought it was a blender at first, and I tried to blend it, and it was blending, but not with the dark blue. Anyway, time to actually draw. So I just wanted to use my main character for this one, and so far I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I like this brush. The eraser was confusing me a little bit because I kept forgetting which brush was the eraser. I was struggling a bit here, and you know, I didn't hate it too much. I was trying to look for certain things after I did this, and the app was quite tricky because I was trying to look for something to like liquefy and move everything, and I couldn't find it generally, so I was like, okay, well, I'll just redraw the hair then. Generally, I got so frustrated that I couldn't do that, and I ended up hating the sketch to where I just quit the app. So generally, I can't say much about this app other than try it out yourself because I just quit instantly. Okay, and now we have... I was actually kind of excited to use this one. I started messing around with the brushes, trying to find where everything is. I did struggle to find the brushes at first because I was like, where the hell are they? And then I clicked on the brush icon. And they had quite a few brushes actually, really good. But I wanted to use this one because I was like, okay, yeah. I had quite the struggle at first trying to find a color. I think when I was actually really excited when I found that this had a liquefied tool, and I was like, oh my god, let's go. And then I clicked on it. Paying for an ad, and I wasn't going to watch an ad for something I'm not spending long on, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to try and ease into this. So I just erased it like I did in the last app. So far I wasn't hating the sketch. This looked a bit weird for me, and as I was drawing this I was like, okay, this brush is okay, but then I realized it felt too thin for me, so I just tried it again, looking for the opacity and how to double the layers. I was actually finding this app the easiest so far, mainly because I don't think it was that hard to use. Here I'm just filling in the details, doing a crappy sketch. Actually, most of the things here were you had to upgrade to use, and I was like for pro, and I was like, what the hell? But I just ignored that and redrew the nose a few times actually. Generally, once I was finished with that, I was like, okay, it's time to get coloring. I don't want to spend any longer on this sketch than I have to. I struggled to find the color wheel at first. I was like, oh my god, all these like limited colors, what am I gonna do? And then I eventually found the color wheel by pressing on the colors next to the palettes and lines in the middle. Generally, I really like this brush a lot, especially when trying to blend, because I've always wanted to try out a brush like this, but I could never find one. And this was actually blending really well, and I was like, oh my goodness, I really like how this brush works. It even went pretty okay with the cyan. And I was like, oh, this is fancy. And then I tried clearing it up a little bit. Oh my god, doing the eye was my favorite part though, because normally I don't shade eyes like this. But I think the way the brush works was actually very satisfying. So I continued to just colour in, rub out, fix the eye, whiten it out. And I really like this. I tried to add a little more shading, but I didn't really like it, even though now I'm looking back at it, I actually really like it. But anyway, I actually liked this brush so much that I decided to do a background. I'm not too good at backgrounds if the character is already there. I don't know why I didn't just make her out of the frame, but generally this app is really good and I would definitely recommend this for a beginner, because there's lots of brushes, don't get me wrong, but it is very easy to use once you get the hang of it. Next app is Sketches. At first I was originally going to judge this app because it was very laggy at first, and I was like, oh, this is bad, I don't like it. But the one thing I did like about this app was it gave me a tutorial at the start as I opened the app, and I was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, because I have no idea what I'm doing on the others. And I started messing around with the brush until I realized I turned my volume up and I realized that it sounded just like paper. Oh my god, it was so satisfying. I just started messing around with it. Oh, just listen. Then I started to try and draw the features. Normally I don't draw guidelines like this, but I actually did this purposely just because I wanted to hear the sketch. I mean, I'm not really the best at hands. I try my best. I mean, I can draw hands, but like it's when the wrist is bending, I'm not very good at it. I also had no idea what to do, draw for the hand pose. I also was struggling here to find how I can move the hand, like really badly. I eventually found it, after struggling like a lot. What I did was press on the settings sign that's on the layer, and it was called transform, and I just like was playing with it a bit. Then I started to do the outline, and originally I was going to do a different one of my characters, but I generally changed my mind midway through because of the eyes. I did the eye shape wrong and I didn't want to rub them out because I like them, so I generally just created a whole new character. I think the brush I chose to sketch all of this was also really nice. Of course there's other brushes. I don't know if there was any more anywhere. They seem very limited, but I don't know if you could import your own brushes or not. I don't really remember while recording this. But generally when I did this eye, I was like, oh, that's really good, and when I tried to replicate it, it didn't end well. But I think this was very nice in general, this is, and I really like the result, though it's not my usual style, or shading. I generally can't shade white hair, but I would definitely recommend this to a beginner, or just, you know, an app you would rather not have be extremely complicated. Now, this app, very back I recorded, or at least I thought I recorded me drawing. This is one of the worst apps I've ever used. I've used Clip Studio Paint, I've used Procreate, and generally this is one of the most complicated apps I've ever used to draw. First off, when I first opened it, I was a bit overwhelmed by all of the controls. It took me about 15 minutes to figure out how to basically draw and remove certain things off the screen. When I actually got to drawing, it kept messing up my stuff. I wasn't sure how to duplicate a layer. I wasn't sure how to add another layer. It may just be my fault for not being able to see it properly, but I generally struggled so much with it. I was trying to shade it and it didn't look good at all. Then when I actually tried to see if I could find a time lapse, I was not aware that I had to press a record thing somewhere for it to record my process, because when I opened the app it didn't tell me I had to do that. So I was looking everywhere for my time lapse, and I was getting a bit frustrated with it because I was actually kind of angry that it didn't record it. And then when I actually pressed on the time-lapse thing, I saw it at the corner as I came out the canvas. And it said, it wasn't recorded, and I was really angry, to be fair. And then when I tried to click off, the whole app glitched, and I also have a pretty good iPad and storage, so it shouldn't have done that. It doesn't show it on my iPad for some reason, but it was entering every single one of my apps once it got off that one, and then I couldn't click off Medibang, and it was just getting worse and worse, and I just stopped recording eventually. And so yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend this app to anybody. If maybe you like, you know, being a pilot or something, go ahead, you can have this app. But the lag is kind of bad on my iPad personally. But if you like complicated apps, then I definitely recommend you get this app, but I don't like this app. I don't really have any more to go over today, because that's all I downloaded, because I didn't want to press on any others. I can try and do more apps if that's what any of you would like, personally. I don't mind trying out the apps as long as it doesn't look like I'm in a pilot cockpit. But yeah, that's all the apps today. I can maybe next video do a shading tutorial or just how I draw in general, give you my IBS Paint Co. brushes if you're interested. Maybe talk about my OC law. I don't know, I'm really new to making videos like this, so that's all I have for you today. So see you in the next video.